life changes very quickly in a positive way if you let it. Namaskar, welcome to PT Pointers. And our first headline is related to South Lhonak Lake, which is in the news because recently flash floods occurred in North Sikkim after South Lhonak Lake burst due to incessant rains. साउथ लोहनक एक ग्लेशियर लेक है जो कि नॉर्दर्न सिक्किम में है एंड इट इज सिचुएटेड अबाउट 5200 meters above sea level. Scientists have previously warned that the lake has been expanding over the years, possibly from the melting of the ice at its head. Now let's know about glacial lake outburst flooding. So friends, it occurs when a breach in glacial lake causes an outpour downstream. And these kind of lakes are formed when glaciers erode land, melt, and over time become a large mass of water in the depression formed. Glacial lake outburst flooding are major concern in Bhutan, Tibet, India, Nepal, and Pakistan. And IISC study had recommended measures like early warning systems and mitigation measures to be put in place in affected areas. And do you know friends, Himalayas are estimated to have about 7500 lakes, of which nearly 10% are in Sikkim. Our next headline is related to Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, जो कि अभी न्यूज में इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Union Cabinet increased the subsidy given on LPG cylinders under Ujjwala scheme to 300 from current 200. Now let's know more about the scheme. So friends, it was introduced by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas in 2016 with an objective to make clean cooking fuel such as LPG available to rural and deprived households which were otherwise using traditional cooking fuels such as firewood, coal, cow dung cakes, etc. And beneficiaries are identified either from socio-economic caste census list or from 7 other identified categories such as scheduled caste households, scheduled tribe households, most backward classes, beneficiaries of PMUY Yojana Gramin, beneficiaries of Antyodaya Ann Yojana, forest dwellers, residents of river islands, tea gardens or ex-tea garden workers, or poor households not covered under the above categories. And under Ujjwala 2.0, special provision has been made for migrant families to avail new connection using self-declaration instead of proof of address and ration card. Now recently, 2023 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to Mongi G. Bawendi, Louis E. Bruce, and Alexei I. 𝐃𝐚𝐢𝐥𝐲 for the discovery and synthesis of quantum dots which have unique properties and now spread their light from television screens and LED lamps. They catalyze chemical reactions and their clear light can illuminate tumor tissue for surgeon. Researchers have primarily utilized quantum dots to create colored light, and they believe that in the future quantum dots can contribute to flexible electronics, minuscule sensors, slimmer solar cells, and perhaps encrypted quantum communication. Our next headline is related to polycrisis, which has been popularized by historian Adam Tooze to describe the coming together of multiple crises. In other words, it refers to the interconnected and compounding crises related to climate change that are affecting the planet across several sectors and domains. It encompasses the physical impacts of climate change and the social, economic, and political challenges that arise from these impacts. Therefore, recognizing the complexity and interconnectedness of climate polycrisis, it is crucial in developing a holistic approach that takes into account the diverse perspectives and priorities of different stakeholders while ensuring resilience, equity, and justice. Now, recently, government notified that some provisions of the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code would not apply to aircraft, engines, and related parts. The government declared that the provisions of Section 14, Subclause 1 of IBC, which imposes a moratorium upon admission of an insolvency plea, shall not apply to transactions arrangements or agreements related to aircraft, aircraft engines, airframes, and helicopters. Now let's know about Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. So friends, it was enacted in 2016 and it was needed due to huge pileup of non-performing loans of banks and delay in debt resolution. The law is aimed to streamline and expedite the insolvency resolution process in India. Our next headline is related to Shyamji Krishna Varma, who was born in 1857 in modern-day Gujarat. In 1905, he founded India House, an Indian sociologist, which rapidly developed as an organized meeting point for radical nationalists among Indian students in Britain. The monthly sociologist became an outlet for nationalist ideas, and through the Indian Home Rule Society, he criticized the British rule in India. He became the first president of Bombay Arya Samaj and was an admirer of Dayanand Saraswati. He inspired Veer Savarkar, who was a member of India House in London. He also served as Diwan of number of states in India. Our next headline is related to National Turmeric Board, which was recently notified by the Government of India. It will focus on the development and growth of turmeric and turmeric products in the country. And do you know, friends, India is the largest producer, consumer, and exporter of turmeric in the world. More than 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in India, and largest producing states are Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. And India has more than 62% share of world trade in turmeric. Now, Digital India Bhashini division plans to launch the Reserve Bank of India's public tech platform for frictionless credit in multiple languages to make financial services more accessible across languages, and it will be done in collaboration with the Reserve Bank Innovation Hub. Now, let's know about Digital India Bhashini division. It is a division under Digital India Corporation, a Section 8 company under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and Reserve Bank Innovation Hub is a wholly owned subsidiary of Reserve Bank of India, and it is an organization that works to enable frictionless finance for 1 billion Indians. Our next headline is related to National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, which has recently entered into a collaboration with Japan Bank for International Cooperation to launch $16 million India-Japan Fund. Now let's know more about National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. So friends, it is set up as collaborative investment platform between Government of India, global investors, multilateral development banks, and domestic financial institutions. Our next and last headline is related to Pacific Asia Travel Association, and ये न्यूज़ में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Ministry of Tourism organized inaugural ceremony for Pacific Asia Travel Association Mart 2023 in New Delhi. Now let's know more about it. So friends, Pacific Asia Travel Association founded in 1951 and इसका headquarter Bangkok में है. It is a renowned not-for-profit association recognized internationally for its role as catalyst in the responsible development of travel and tourism in Asia Pacific region. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for listening, and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.